Hi, welcome everyone to the climate finance module. We are going to discuss four things here in this particular module of climate finance. First, we are going to discuss about what is climate finance, and we are going to give an overview of climate finance. Then we are going to discuss about why it is important to learn about climate finance, especially for the people residing in the global south. Then we will discuss about the different mechanisms and instruments of climate finance. And finally, we are going to discuss about a best case of success from Bangladesh. Well, everyone, let us start. Let us start first with climate finance. What is climate finance? If you remember the balance sheet of any entity, you will see there are usually two sides. On the left hand side, there is asset. On the right hand side, there is liability and equity. This asset side is known as investment or uses of fund. On the other hand, the right hand side, the liability and equity side, is known as sources of fund, or we call it financing. While discussing about climate finance, we are going to talk about this financing part, that from where we can get the money or funding for addressing the issues of climate change. So if we try to define climate finance, we can very plainly define that climate finance is financing or funding from any sources. It can be local, it can be national, it can be international, for the purpose of addressing the issues of climate change. So as you can see, what do we mean by addressing climate change? This addressing means it can be either adaptation or mitigation. What is adaptation? Adaptation, in case of adaptation, this funding will be used to develop the capacity of the community or the ecosystem to fight climate change. Well, if it is mitigation, it will be helping to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And this financing as I have discussed, can come from different sources. It can be multilateral, it can be bilateral, it can be from the country of its own, because they can invest there or build their fund to fight their own problem, or it can be some private equity or private investors to help us to fight climate change. So in summary, climate finance is funding from any sources that will address the issues of climate change.